Hey there guys and gals, Tony here with Creative Fish Studio, and today I want to show you how to make your own coral frag stands. If you want to make your own frag tank or something like that, but you want to do it the DIY way, it's a lot more cost effective, save you some money, and it's really simple to do. So let's get into it. So I've laid out a bunch of the materials that I'm going to use here. Now I want to point out there's a lot of people who have already shown how to do this. There's a lot of pictorials on forums. There's just few videos that show how they're actually put together, though there are a lot of people who are using them. And I went ahead and I'm doing it the super cheap way. I picked up this egg crate from Home Depot. It's acrylic, this particular one that I got, and you can see the holes here in it are perfect size for your plug to sit right in there, nice. So I just ran up to Home Depot. I went to the lighting department. This is $13 for a 2x4 sheet of it for fluorescent lighting. So just go to the lighting department, look in the fluorescent lights. You'll be sure to find some of this. Now I'll point out that a lot of people have talked about water changes with the phosphates in the water because of leaching of something from the plastics here. I don't know all the details on that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to dip it in some hot water and some vinegar ahead of time to try and cure or kill anything that's on this. Give it a good cleaning and before I put it in the tank. What I need right now, my main goal is I'm going to make my own frag tank, but I don't have the lighting and that for it yet. And so I'm just going to put this into one of my 20 gallons that I have some clownfish in, some Picasso clowns, and just start growing some of the corals in there. And so what I'm looking for is a 4-inch by 13-inch piece here. So there's a couple ways you could do this. You could use some simple wire cutters like I've got here. You could use a Dremel to cut through the plastic. And then once you're done cutting it, you're going to have different ways that you are going to actually mount the stand in your tank. Now when I do my larger frag tank, what I'm going to use is PVC like this, and just cut off some 2-inch tall sections for the front, maybe 4-inch tall sections for a back part of the stand. And I'll put these underneath and I'll drill little holes in so that I can attach zip ties around the egg crating and through the holes in the PVC. But for right now, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make a little stand out of the actual egg crate. So I'll cut off a few little legs that I'll put up to hold it in place. You could go in and you could make a stair step on here and make your levels that way. And so you then separate those legs and put, you know, a platform on each part of it. And that could be a way to make a platformed frag stand. I'm just doing a single level. I need to get it up about 6 inches in my tank because I want to get it over some live rock that I have in there and put it kind of mid-level in the tank. So that's my goal, and so I'm going to go ahead and start working on this little project. Alright, so there we go. Cut out our piece easily. I did break one of the sections right here. I'm not going to worry about that because I can still put a frag in there and it's alright. So I'm not going to worry about it. My fault. Got a little bit impatient there. Now these ones here these are on the edge of it, so these are protruding already. But what I'll do is I'll go ahead and I'll just clip these down and then I'll go back and I'll hit it with the Dremel just to sand it. But you could do it with other options that you have for sandpaper or to just kind of get rid of these sharp edges here just to be good in case a fish kind of swims up along the edge here. You wouldn't want the fish to get kind of cut by that. So we'll just go ahead and knock that all down. Okay, so I use multiple different methods to actually cut mine. I use the wire cutters to snip through a lot of it, and then I use the Dremel with a saw bit on it to cut off any excess that was sticking over the edges, and then I use the Dremel with a little sanding tool. Now I only put together part of it because I wanted to demonstrate a little bit of it and not have to do it all on camera. What I was doing with the little mount here, or the brace, to kind of firm up this leg. I'll show when I do this leg what it's like if I only put zip ties on the leg and how it can buckle and turn. And in most cases, you're not going to have any problems with that. But I just wanted to be safer than sorry, and this isn't a display tank or anything. So I'm not worried about having this little extra brace in here just for that extra security and peace of mind that the rack won't topple over and cause some of the corals to get damaged. So I'm gonna go ahead and just attach this one here, and then we'll show what I'm talking about. So I've got two of them on here loosely, just kind of to hold it in place, so I can line it up before I actually tighten it down where I want it exactly. And then I'll go ahead and strap these in like so, and I'll get them nice and tight with it aligned on the edge where I would want it. So you can still see that there'll be a little bit of play. It's actually not too bad. Like, you could get away with that, but if you put any weight on it, it's considerable weight to make it do anything. You might run into issues. Part of it is I just want to make sure that it's squared up and straight how I want it. So I'm going to go ahead and still put in this little extra piece that I've cut out right here. So that'll just kind of square up the corner for me. That's kind of the goal of it. Just lined up in place here before I tighten it down, because I want it on the inside of both so that it's not sticking out. And then I'll just go ahead and tighten these down. Now, I'm also being careful with the zip ties, not tighten them too soon, because I do want to be able to hide these away so that they're not sticking out like this. They'll be tucked inside where they won't be really an issue. I just don't want them sticking out on the outside. So when I trim all this excess off, they'll be kind of hidden pretty nicely in there. So that's my goal, at least, when I tighten them down. All right, so there we go. So I'll just snip these off. All right, so there we go. We've completed the Frag rack. You can see I busted the one out because I wasn't being patient. Pretty easy to put together, very simple. The last step that I've got to do here is I'm going to put this in some hot water with some vinegar in it to try and kill anything that might be on this through sitting in the store and on the shelf, through the processing, anything that might have been left over as residue, as well as from the Dremel, the sanding and that, and the melting the plastic. I just want to try and give this a nice good cleaning before it goes in the tank, and then we'll put some frags on here. Well, unfortunately, I had a camera fail and did not record the dipping process. I will say that because I'd already put it together for the filming of this video, it made it a little bit harder to dip the whole thing in vinegar. I wanted to use 100% vinegar. I ended up using about 75% and 25% water, and then I just flipped the Frag rack overnight. So I had it sitting upright for 12 hours, and then I flipped it and let it soak on the other side for another 12 hours. But here you can see I've got it in the tank. I've got some of my frags on it, and it's looking good. It's not beautiful, but it serves a purpose for right now. Eventually, I'm hoping to have a dedicated frag tank, but for now, the Picasso clowns can enjoy swimming around this little contraption in their tank, because this tank really is for them. And there'll be some corals in this tank on the rockwork, but overall it's really a fish tank. I'm hoping to possibly breed these Picassos in the future. For now, it's going to serve as a grow out tank for some of my frags until they're ready for the main tank, and until I can get a dedicated frag tank. So I hope this was helpful to those of you who might not be DIY people that wanted to find a cheap solution for building your own frag stand or frag rack.